Hello. So good afternoon. I welcome you all on this webinar on modeling automobile front windshield wiper assembly. Okay. So this is the brief outline. Firstly, about the faculty, introduction about SolidWorks, tools that will be required, and the process. So, okay, so my name is Karamveer Singh. My highest qualification is MTech with honors in mechanical engineering from State Government College. One of my biggest achievements so far is I represented India at International Science and Engineering Camp in 2010 at Seoul National University, South Korea. The SolidWorks is a computer-aided designing software with dedicated tools for part modeling and assembly, having application in automobile, aerospace, and similar mechanical engineering domain. So if you go for the SolidWorks software, one of the things that the employer would expect is the candidate have a sound knowledge of modeling and assembly. Reason being, SolidWorks offer comfortable tools for a beginner to model their part, or rather to convert the imagination into a 3D virtual part. And the assembly module of SolidWorks is comfortable to assemble the individual components with the geometrical constraints that the SolidWorks provide. Moreover, you can simulate the process at the like as you assemble, as in a real case. Similar, you can simulate the mechanism without even using the SolidWorks simulation tool. You can also replicate the motion as in the real case here. So that we'll go through while we assemble the mechanism. The benefits working on SolidWorks is accurate and time saving, definitely, since I've already mentioned that SolidWorks offer a comfortable workbench for the candidate. So it is time saving and more accurately you can design the or model your component. Second, it aids or help a smooth evolution from 2D to 3D based design methodology. Yeah, for example, if you go with the 2D software such as AutoCAD, then you have a comfortable module, whether we talk about the sketch module SolidWorks or the feature module of SolidWorks. Okay, so there is an easy transition between 2D to 3D. Similar as in the case of 2D software, there is the maneuvering tools, whether we talk about panning or and the zooming zoom out operation, that is easy in case of the SolidWorks. Yeah. Third, advanced technology for mechanical mechanism assembly modeling. Okay. The SolidWorks offer a comfortable zone in which you can assemble the component with the advanced tool, whether we talk about the mechanical constraint. There are basically, if you briefly study, one of the geometrical constraint or basic geometrical constraint, you can even definitely assemble n number of assembly with the use of the conventional conventional constraint. Moreover, there are a specific module of mechanical constraints in which there are gear mechanism and stuff like that. Okay, so there are advanced techniques of modeling the assembly with the SolidWorks assembly module. You don't have to go into another specific module as in the case of like kinematics of different software that is available in single workspace of SolidWorks assembly. Fourth is that it offers simulation under SolidWorks simulation. That you can simulate your mechanism with proper giving like gravity or spring constraints or even the motor motion, whether it is linear or if you are working on hydraulic machinery or pneumatic machinery, then there is an involvement of piston movement. You don't have any rotary component in the mechanism. In that case, SolidWorks simulation, there is a motor in which you can provide linear motion rather than the rotary motion. Okay. Then the tools that are required. So the tool that will be required for our stated problem to develop a mechanism assembly using SolidWorks is 2D two-dimensioning sketching tools. Second is the extrude boss, extruded cut tool, fillets, and the assembly geometrical constraints. So what I have planned for today's webinar is will be involving minimum number of tools, so that we will we just focus on the mechanism, how you like simulate a mechanism, how you perform the process of developing a product from having individual parts, then ultimately obtaining a mechanism, right? Rather than a slider can mechanism, this is a different mechanism with the specific application. Okay. So now the process, there are basically three sections: mechanism, kinematics. Here we'll understand the brief understanding. Okay, so it requires a lot of time to study a mechanism. We all know that, but here we'll be briefly understanding the mechanism, the linkages that are involved. Second is the part modeling. We'll be developing the part. Then the third is the assembly modeling, where we'll be connecting the parts as per the mechanism requirements using geometric constraints of assembly modeling. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this one is our mechanism. So firstly, we'll be having a glance on the mechanism. Okay, so this is the mechanism which is already made. So here you can have a look. Okay, this will be obtaining towards the last of the session. This is definitely here I've already done the detailing part over here. What our objective for today's webinar is to understand the concept and how we create those parts and how we assemble those parts to obtain ultimately the mechanism, right? This is the mechanism which we need to obtain. Okay, this one is the wiper mechanism of front shield. This is how the wiper works. Yep. So there are n number of modes in which you can like develop such kind of a mechanism, but this is one of the technique in which you can obtain the mechanism. Okay, so we'll start. So this is what this is the mechanism in which the rotary motion is converted into the oscillatory motion. Okay, so you can see like if here we install a motor at the back side of the link. So this is what this is a crank. Okay, so if we install a motor and if we rotate this crank, the objective is to have a oscillating motion, right? So you can clearly see over here that we are obtaining the oscillatory motion. Okay, see, this is rotating, and the wipers over here, two wipers, they are having an oscillatory motion. Okay, so they are oscillating about their position rather than having a complete rotation. So this is the sole objective of today's webinar. We need to obtain the rotation of the crank into oscillation of the other links. How we can achieve this? Okay, so I'll make this concept pretty simple for you all to like replicate this procedure after the webinar. Is this is nothing but what you have to do is initially develop two, like this is a mechanism of double crank mechanism, right? So like you have two cranks of equal radius. Initially what you do is you develop two cranks of equal radius, then use a connecting rod to join them. Take care. What is the distance of this connecting rod? The distance between the two centers, like you can see over here. When I'll like roughly make them perpendicular to the surface. You can see the distance between the crank is the distance between the two circles of the connecting rod. Okay, so this is the first step that you can do. I'll be not definitely doing because we have a limited number of time, but okay, so this is what you can practice. Initially, make a crank, copy that crank to the another position, and make a connecting rod such that the distance between the connecting rod is equal to the distance between the center holes of the crank. Okay, then what you'll examine is with say 10 degree or any degree, x degree of motion. When you'll give on the one of the crank, you will obtain the same degree motion to the other crank as well. You can see over here. Yeah? What is the concept behind a rotary into oscillatory motion is by changing the radius of the crank. Now, second step, what you'll do is like you change the radius of the crank. Okay, what we'll do is what I've done in this mechanism is this is 90 mm, this is 90 mm, and I made another crank of similar geometry. Just what I've done is I've reduced the distance to 80 mm. Okay, just by changing the uh, crank radius by 10 mm, now we are able to obtain a oscillatory motion by a rotatory motion. Okay. Okay, so first step, what you will do is for just your practice. Okay, so you'll be practicing it. Firstly, understand what is the concept in which is going. So this is a double. Firstly, it is a double crank mechanism. Second thing, what we have to do is we don't have to obtain the same degree of motion, right? So what we have to do is one should rotate and another should reciprocate. For that case, firstly you like make equal cranks. Then what you do, you reduce the radius of the another crank, and nothing you have to do for the case of the connecting rod. You can see over here as well. Right? So same distance is there. The distance between the two holes of crank is equal to the distance between the holes of connecting rod as well. Okay. So nothing I've changed. What I've done is I've reduced the radius of connecting rod. This is 90 mm and this is 80 mm. Now we'll make this concept. Okay. What I'll be doing, I'll not make all of the wiper, just a link and a crank. Okay. So let's start. New part. Okay. So firstly, we'll be obtaining the base plate. Make a T shape with the use of rectangle. Or you can even eliminate it. Okay. So that T was for the pump, water pump. Okay, just create a rectangle and create two circles. For what? For the crank, one for the motor one and another for wiper one. So I'll be just making a simple mechanism to demonstrate the concept. 15 and another also say 15. It would be easy for us, right? Let it be 40, making it at the center, so 20. Now I've taken the center, let's say 250 mm. 250 mm. Okay. And the distance, say let it be 20 mm. And similarly, we'll make the distance from center to the other edge again to 20 mm. Okay, so my circles are at center, 20 mm from horizontal axis, similarly 20 mm from vertical axis. I've created this as a line, okay, solid line. Now we'll do the extrude process, 10 mm extrude, okay. Okay, so this is the plate which is ready now. Now what we need to do is the center to center was 250, so we'll be making a crank, sorry, connecting rod. So let it be, I'll make a new folder over here. and test. This is crank. Sorry, base plate, base. Okay. Since that already opened up base one that on the another document. That's why. Yeah. So new. Now I'll be making a connecting rod. Okay. So how to make the connecting rod? Make a rectangle again. This is center to center length. Okay. So 250. Make a circle. Similarly over here as well. Provide the distance. Say I'm giving it a distance of 20. Now we'll be eliminating all of the internal area here. This. Again, I'll be creating a circle. Let the radius of this be 10 dia. So 10 should be the dia. Okay, like this. So center to center distance is 250. Again, we'll be extruding it. Now this time 5 mm. Okay, so this is what? This is the connecting rod. Save as connecting rod. Now we'll be making crank number 1, which should rotate. Okay, which we have assumed that it will be rotating. So how to make that? Again, create a circle. Right? The same procedure. This should be 80. We have assumed that we'll be keeping it 80, and we'll make a circle. Let it be, say, 25. Now you have to check the dia. So you have to check. This is 15 mm, and in the connecting rod we have taken 10 mm. Okay. So one end we have to do 2 extrudes. One will be doing extrude of 15 mm, and another will be extruding of 10 mm. Trim. Extrude 5 mm. One end we'll select and do an extrude of, say, make a circle of 15 mm. This will be inserted on the plate. Okay. Say 20. Okay. Another. We'll create a circle. Sketch on the surface. Create a circle of 10 mm. And again extrude. So 20 mm. Okay. Now this is our connecting rod number 1. So we'll save it. Save connecting rod. Sorry, crank number 1. Now we'll be making in the similar process crank number 2. Same procedure. Now this distance will be 90 mm. Okay, this we had already taken the 25. Again, we'll be taking 25 mm. Okay, circle, 2 circle you can make. Trim. This is how. Okay, so we have already performed, right? I'm just repeating it. 5 mm. Now at one face, again we'll be making a circle of dia 15 that will be fitting on the base plate, and on the another face we'll be making a circle of dia 10 mm. Okay, so extrude of 20. At the back face, similarly, we'll be making a circle of 10 mm and extrude again of 20. Okay, 20. Fine. So the mechanism links have been made now. Now what we have to do is we have to assemble it. Let me just save it. File, save as crank number 2. Okay. So this is how you have to make the part. What I've done just use extrude command. Okay. And also I've avoided the use of extrude cut. You can like in the case of that one connecting rod, you can also use extrude cut to create the circular cuts. Okay, that I have eliminated that thing, and I've already made a circle in the base sketch and use the extrude command, or automatically that circular cut was obtained. Okay, you can also use the extruded cut feature. Fillets you can do on the edges of the surface. Okay, on these edge. Because in the real case scenario, fillets are always there, which you have to also follow when you are making the components. Okay, this is how you'll be obtaining like real appearance you'll get eventually. On new assembly, okay. Now how to assemble the components using SolidWorks? What you have to do is go on insert component, select the first component from insert component window. This first file would be automatically fixed. Okay, so remember candidates, the first file which you bring will get automatically fixed in SolidWorks. Okay, so our first file was, I think so, double one here. Now we'll be bringing the second, so I'll bring the crank one, this one, yes. Okay, so what we have to do is this circles should get inserted over this. So by using mate command, so this is nothing but geometrical constraint. This circle, the circular face of the shaft and circular face of the hole. Okay, so automatically what it has done is concentric. Yes, okay. Now what we have to do next thing is this face gets coincidence with this face. Okay, so you can also like change the distance. Okay, what I'm doing is simplifying this step. Just I will be selecting the two surfaces. Automatically it will do coincidence. You can also give the distance if you want. Okay. Now I'll be bringing the next crank. Insert crank number 2. This is the crank number 2. Okay, so again we'll be clicking on mate, which is nothing but geometrical constraint. Then what? This face and this face. Okay, so now you can actually simulate, as in the real case, if you are having the two profile, a circle and a shaft, and a hole and a shaft. When you insert that hole and shaft, you make a mechanism over there. Then you can, what you can do, a pair. This is how what you can get to simulate in the case of SolidWorks. Okay, so you can do this comfortably. Whereas if we compare with the similar platform, that is CATIA, in that case you need to go on the manipulation tool and select the axis of rotation. Okay, so it becomes a tedious job eventually. In this case, in SolidWorks, it's pretty much comfortable just to assemble, apply the constraints. And as in a real case, if you select the handle over here, go to the handle, you can rotate the component. Okay, in this format. Fine. So next step is what? You have to apply the connecting rod. Okay, so go on the insert option, select the connecting rod. Okay, so this one's the connecting rod. Now what we have to do is, this is again the hole profile and this is the shaft profile. You have to use the geometrical constraints under the name mates of SolidWorks. Just click on mates, select the two surfaces this surface, inside surface, and this one, the another surface. Okay. So you can see the geometrical constraint has been established. Now I can slide this connecting rod, but I cannot like move the connecting rod away from the center. Okay. So this is what the geometrical constraints mean. Now what we have to do next is this face should get connected on this face. Okay. So this is not to be kept parallel. What we have to do is coincidence. So this is the interesting part of SolidWorks is that just you have to select the face and the possible constraint which are possible between the two selected face. It automatically shows you that. Okay. This face and this we have selected, and automatically what it has done the coincidence constraint. You can also go for parallel, but it will be giving no sense in this case because we have already done the coincidence of the excess of two hole and the shaft. So what is required is we have to do the coincidence of the two flat surfaces so that I can fix the motion of the connecting rod about the axis. So coincidence, then okay. Second thing what we have to do is I need to connect this connecting rod onto the crank number 1. So make shaft, then hole. Okay, this is how I've connected it. Now, since I had already done the mate of the two surfaces or geometrical constraint of coincidence, I've already established over here. Moreover, these two cranks are all also fixed with respect to the this face, the background face. Now I need not to do again the face matching process over here. Okay, since whole of the geometry is now constrained, what you have to do, press just okay. Then you have to rotate. So this was what? This was the rotating member, right? So what you have to do is now you'll be rotating it. You can see. Okay, so this is giving a complete rotation, whereas this is just oscillating about its position. This was required for our wiper mechanism. You can see over here, right? This link is rotating, whereas the second link, the second crank number 2 is oscillating. You can also change the color. Okay, if you want, you can change the color. Just go on the appearance. This is the edit appearance option. Okay, and you can select the color. So I select this, say green color. Let it be green color. Okay, then press OK. You can see, right? I'm rotating this connecting rod, sorry, crank number 1, and I'm what I'm getting is the oscillation. Not even this is not even a 180 degree. You can see over here. It is giving 360-degree rotation, whereas it is not even completing 180 degree. This is which is desirable, right, in a wiper mechanism. So by changing the numerical value of the radius, you can achieve the as per the requirement of the motion. No? If you need to even obtain say 160 degree or another degrees you can obtain, then definitely you all know that there is a numerical formula for that. We'll be not going into detail of that, all those kinematic stuff. Just how you can simulate the mechanism is the objective of today's webinar. Okay, this is how you can obtain the mechanism. Now, since I've already prepared the links, I'll be assembling those links for you all. Okay, new assembly. Okay, I've already done that stuff so as to save over time. Okay, so these are the links. So firstly, I'll be bringing base. So this end is for the motor. Okay, if you have a pump, you can install over here, whereas the motor will be available at this end. So insert again. What I'll be inserting now is the crank. This one is for water. This phase and this phase. Okay. Okay, again, just hole and shaft. Coincidence, then concentric and coincidence constraints are required. The second one, this face, shaft, and the internal face of the hole. Then what you have to do is flat faces, you have to select this face and this face. Press OK, OK. Now again insert the component. Now we'll be obtaining the wiper. Okay, so this one is my wiper. Okay, so now I'll be just explaining in brief. So this is the wiper which I made. This structure is to provide the stability. We'll be eventually understanding in the coming webinar how you can make the wiper stable, because wiper have to take care all of the, if you're in a snowy area, then that snow weight is also to be considered in the structure of this wiper. Water, the velocity of water, all of that is to be taken care of when you are designing or modeling the structure of the wiper. Okay, so many considerations are to be considered. So this, what I've made is with the help of extrude and extrude cut pattern I've given the extrude cut. This is all of the structure you can see. Okay, and just made a blade and the base and provided the required fillet. This one. Okay, so both are matched. Then again, similarly, base. Okay. Okay. And again, I'll be replicating this. Okay, so how you can do that? Just press Control button from your keyboard, click on the surface of the part which you have to make a copy of. Then just drag with the left mouse button and you'll be obtaining the copy. Now what you have to, how you have to leave in the manner in which you have pressed the buttons. Okay, firstly leave the left mouse button, then the control. You'll be obtaining that process. Okay, the component. Just select the shaft and hole. Then select the flat faces. Okay, this. Now what we have to do is we have to bring the connecting rod. So similarly, as we have like used the geometrical constraint, here also we have to perform the same ritual. This face. Okay, so again, I'll mention it again. Since we have already constrained the displacement of this link as well as this link, as well as constrained from one of the end, okay, the displacement part, linear displacement. So I need not to like replicate the process, repeat the process of connecting the two surfaces again. Okay, so you can see that there will be a rotatory motion about the axis, but no linear motion is possible because every link connected to this connecting rod is already constrained. Now again I have to repeat, like bring the connecting rod again. Again we have to press Control, select the face, drag, and we'll get that. Wait. This face and shaft. Okay. Then this face and this face. Okay, so you can see. As in a real case, like if you have a real joints, you can, this you'll be doing. Like if you oscillate it, you'll be able to have the motion. Similar is in case of the SolidWorks as well. That's why it is pretty much handy. Okay. So now we are ready to have the wiper mechanism where motor is installed this end. You can see now I'll be rotating it. Okay, so this is the wiper mechanism of automobile, front shield wiper mechanism. This is how you firstly understand the mechanism on which the principle it is working on, then obtain the dimensions. That we first obtained the concept that it is a double crank mechanism. Then we understood that the radius of the crank has to be altered. Then we made a numerical value. Okay, so we'll be considering it say 80 mm. The another crank should be of 90 mm. We made a small demonstrated it. Then we made the real thing stuff. Okay, so this is the procedure actually which you adopt when you are going for developing a mechanism. Okay, so this is nothing but I had made this for water pump. I can show you this thing that already made. This one. Okay, so you can see it will also oscillate and it is not coinciding with any of the surface. Okay, no overlapping is there. It is also oscillating. This one you can see. Okay, so it is also oscillating and no overlapping is there. You can see nothing overlapping is there. Okay. This is for a reciprocating pump. If you are having a reciprocating pump, you can install it over at this end, or any stuff if you want to link it with this thing, this crank, you can definitely perform it. Okay, fine. So this is how you obtain a wiper mechanism. Firstly, understand the concept, the kinematics, then provide the numerical value, make a small demonstration of your idea, then enhance it with real equipments or real application. Like in this case, since I need to add the wiper kind of a thing, I made this wiper blade and all of the detailing I've done. Okay, this is how you go for any mechanism. This was all about the modeling of front windshield wiper using SolidWorks. So at the end, I would say that you can go for any mechanism, any model. To understand in further more details, kindly join the course of SolidWorks at CAD Center. We are available at CAD Center Hazratganj and CAD Center Alambagh. Kindly join the course and also design your own mechanism. Thanks a lot.